Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen. I make bookish school and lifestyle related videos, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite podcasts that I have been listening to since last summer. So I'm sorry for the horrible lighting. If it changes, just know there's supposed to be a winter storm out there. That's why school is canceled. That's why I'm able to pre-film these videos. But with all that documented, let's just get right on into the video. So my first favorite podcast is Houston, We Have a Podcast. I don't remember the name of the host. I don't remember the name of a lot of the hosts in this podcast, but I do know that I absolutely learned a lot about the NASA Johnson Space Center and some of the experiments that are being taken place in space right now and what I can do as just regular student / citizen. I learned that you can even send your own experiment ideas to NASA, and a lot of the times these experiments are taken seriously and they are sent to space for astronauts to test out. But not only that, I learned about the different roles at NASA, and I learned what a flight surgeon is. No, it's not that you do surgery in space, it's that you're a doctor for a specific team of astronauts, and I just think that's really cool. So the next podcast that I absolutely love listening to is Views by David Dobrik and Jason Nash. Those two are absolutely hilarious. I watched all of their vlogs, the entire vlog squad. I watch all of their vlogs too. And so I like watching their videos and then listening to the podcast because they talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff that goes on. And then they talk about some current events and they kind of put their twist to it, and it gets a little funny. But every Thursday I get a notification about a new podcast episode, and I'm so happy. It's just like a nice break. So when I want to get an update with the world, I like to listen to NPR's Up First. It's a 10 to 12 minute podcast every morning about current events happening in the world and our nation. And it's a nice quick update, and they talk about everything in common words, and so it's easy to understand with the language that they use, and it helps keep my attention because I can't really watch the news on television for a really long time because it's like 30 minutes to an hour long. But this podcast is just really short and simple and sweet, and it talks about the very important stuff that I need to know. Every now and then I like to listen to And That's Why We Drink, because the two hosts remind me of me and my friend when we're talking, especially about conspiracy theories or like haunted houses and stuff. Yeah, so And That's Why We Drink is hosted by two ladies, Christine and Em, talk about why they drink throughout the week. And so maybe they'll talk about something going on at work, and then they go on to talk about a specific haunted house or haunted place, and they're really interesting places that I've never heard of before. So I like getting that scary aspect to it, plus the very funny parts from Christine and Em. One of my favorite podcasts of 2017 just wrapped up their first season, and that is Closer Than They Appear by Carvel Wallace. So I don't really know how to explain this one, but Wallace, each episode he will have a guest and he will pose a question, and this entire podcast centers around the topic of race in America. Like, listening to the podcast, you can see just mending relationships between him and someone in his family, his aunt. And I like that he puts his kids in the podcast, and they sound like very intelligent and woke kids, and I absolutely love it. So I also really love NPR's Code Switch podcast, hosted by Shireen Marisol Meraji and Gene Demby. This duo talks about a very, very important topic. Like Closer Than They Appear, they talk about race in America and in other countries. And so I absolutely have learned a lot about cultural and racial identity in this modern day and age. And Shireen has become one of my favorite journalists, and I just absolutely love hearing her stories and her opinion on different topics and issues. I absolutely love Washington, D.C., and in that general vicinity is the Smithsonian, and the Smithsonian has a podcast called Side Door. I absolutely love learning new things, and Side Door is the perfect podcast for learning new things. I have a lot of knowledge about mammal milk, and the history of the US postal system, and I don't know what to do with this knowledge. If you want to learn more, I suggest listening to Side Door. One very popular podcast last year, I believe, or 2 years ago, is Up and Vanished. So basically this murder was solved, I believe. I listened to it a long time ago, like when it first came out, and I don't really remember too much of it now, but it's still a really good, if you love true crime, listen to it. Up and Vanished. S-Town is also really good. I listened to that a long time ago. Podcasts that I listened to a long time ago that have finished a long time ago, I don't really remember. And last but not least, I absolutely love listening to Ear Hustle. So I have the information pulled up here, but Ear Hustle takes place in the San Quentin State Prison, hosted by Nigel Poor, Earlonne Woods, and Antoine Williams. The stories that they share about life in prison, even tackling race in prison, is just absolutely fascinating. Sorry, this lighting's horrible. But the way they talk about the prison system in some episodes are actually kind of funny, but it's a very serious podcast. And my entire perception and idea about prison and prisoners have changed since I started listening to this podcast. They have just finished their first season, and it was a really good one for a first season. And they will be back for season 2 in March, which is my birthday month. So much is coming out in March. I'm absolutely excited. So with that all being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have heard of new podcasts that maybe you would want to listen to, because I absolutely love listening to these podcasts. Some are on a break from season 1, and so I'm waiting for season 2. Others, they have just been going on each and every week, and I just love listening to podcasts in the car, learning something new, because my friend once told me that she doesn't really get much out of listening to music in the car for like every 20-minute drive, and I was like, you know what? Same thing for me. So whenever I'm cleaning, whenever I'm just eating a snack and just lounging around or driving to work, I like to listen to podcasts. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. That'll make me very happy. I have new videos coming your way, and I hope you all stay tuned to check it out. Bye everyone.